Here are 5 basic yoga poses you can use to relieve back pain. First pose, cat-cow, getting on the ground into a tabletop position. Hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips, and your toes are tucked. Now for this, you're basically going to go between arching and rounding your back. You want to make sure that you are only going into whatever range of motion does not cause pain. So going arching your back as much as you can without pain, and then rounding your back as much as you can without pain. So start off by just alternating between arching and rounding. That's the first part of this. And as you start to get more familiar with that, now we can start to add the breathing. So you're going to inhale to arch, and then exhale to round. Now putting those both together as a beginner can be difficult, so don't feel too pressured to nail that the first time. Getting into some more of the finer technique points with this movement, as you inhale and arch, I want you to open up your chest as much as possible, pull your shoulders down away from the ears, and squeeze your shoulder blades together as you start to look up. When you're rounding your back, you want to think about reaching your tailbone down, spreading your shoulder blades, and tucking your chin in toward your throat. Now, if you have significant lower back pain, if you have maybe a herniated disc, maybe you sit a lot, you want to emphasize arching your back more than rounding your back. And if you do have pain when you round your back, if you notice just like a dull aching sensation as you round your back, then don't round your back that much. Just only go as far as you can without pain. And as you progress through these, just in the same set, as you go through more and more reps, you'll notice that your body starts to open up. So cat-cow is just a really nice basic spinal mobility exercise that can help with relieving back stiffness, relieving some back pain, and it's a really good warm-up for any sort of workout. If it's yoga, if it's weightlifting, if it's going on a walk, or if we're just kind of starting off your day. So that's pose number 1, cat-cow. I would make sure you do at least 5 of those. 10 is better, and you can even go up to 15 or 20 if you have the time and it feels good. Next pose we're going to do here is actually a hip stretch, and it's a low lunge, and we're going to use blocks for this. So if you don't have blocks, you can use a stack of books, you can use a foam roller, anything that's going to lift the ground up a little bit. You're going to put your right foot up, left leg is back, and we're going to allow the hips to sink forward. Keep your right heel down, allow the hips to sink forward. You're leaning with the hips, the shoulders stay above the hips, and we're going to focus on this stretch through the front of your left hip. So while this isn't targeting the back, well, it actually is targeting the back, we're really working on the hips. And when we stretch the hips, that releases tension on the back because your hip muscles are connected to your back. So this is a really good stretch for relieving low back pain by stretching some of the bigger muscles that connect to the back. And in general, when you have low back pain, it's a good idea to stretch the hips because those are the big muscles that tug on the lower back and cause pain when they're tight. So a lot of the stretches in this basic yoga stretches tutorial are going to focus on stretching the big hip muscles that connect to your back. So low lunge, you want to keep your glutes somewhat engaged, keep the back toes tucked, make sure that you're not arching too much to the back. Think about kind of letting your whole body just kind of sink forward and staying somewhat active. This is somewhat strength, mostly relax, but don't go totally passive. Keep some aspect of strength to this pose. And you want to hold here at least 30 seconds, and then 45, 60 or more is going to be better. All right, let's switch sides. So now left leg is forward, right leg is back. Hands on the blocks. And if you don't have the blocks, that's totally fine. The blocks just makes this a little more relaxed. So using the blocks, you don't have to put your body weight into your lower body. So it just makes it a lot easier, gives you the ability to focus on the stretch, less focus required for holding yourself up. I would experiment with both just to see, if one feels better than the other. So you're allowing your hips to come forward, feeling that stretch to the front of the right hip. That is your psoas. That is a hip flexor muscle. The back toes are tucked. Staying active through your thighs. So I'm squeezing my thighs a little bit as I'm doing this. I'm pushing down through that front foot. I'm kind of allowing my chest to come forward to sink deeper into this. And always checking in with the breathing, making sure you're breathing slow and controlled in and out of the nose. Another element of this is squeezing your right glute. So when you squeeze your right glutes, your right hip flexor stretches. So we're kind of working the agonist and antagonist relationship in your muscles, and that helps to facilitate a better stretch. And also adding that strength element is going to help with addressing some of the root causes of why that pain might exist to begin with. So you'll notice that we're working on a combination of strength and flexibility as we're going through these, especially if the goal is pain relief. All right, there's your low lunge. From here, we're going to flip over onto your back, and we're going to do a reclined figure 4. This is one that's tough for a lot of people if you haven't stretched your glutes before. It's really good for your back, though. So you're going to bring your left knee over your left hip. You're going to cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Grab the back of your left thigh, and then lightly pull that thigh in, your left thigh in toward your body while being conscious of your right knee here. So make sure there's no pain through the right knee. You can also flex your right toes back toward the shin, kind of keep this right leg active. And you're going to feel a nice big stretch through your outer right thigh, or through your right, basically your right butt. Breathe in and out of your nose as you're holding here. And a really nice modification for this is to put your left foot against a wall or a pole or a piece of exercise equipment. And that's just going to help us make this stretch a lot more relaxed. If possible, relax your head onto the ground. If you notice that you can't quite get your head to relax on the ground, you can put a block under your head instead. So here we want to hold this for at least 45 seconds, and 60 seconds or 90 seconds is even better. By the way, typically the older you are, the longer you need to hold this stretch. So if you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, it's a good idea to hold the poses for a longer time. By the way, most of the people that I work with are in their 50s and 60s. So if you're watching this video thinking, I'm too old, you're probably not. All right, go ahead and relax. Switch sides. We're going to cross the left ankle over your right thigh now. Grab the back of your right thigh. Hold that in. Flex your left toes toward your shin. Feeling the stretch for the outer left thigh through the left glute. If you can, relax your head down. Slow, controlled breathing in and out of the nose. And you might notice that one side is a lot tighter than the other, or one side opens up a lot easier than the other, and that's really normal. So just be aware of that. And that's because we typically have one leg that's dominant, so if you were to kick a ball, for example, you'd probably tend to favor one side more than the other. You probably tend to sit in the car with your hips cocked to one side. And if you were to take a step forward, you typically would step forward with your dominant leg first. So we all have these little imbalances from left to right. Really normal, but good to be aware of. All right, let's go ahead and release. All right, quick break here, guys. If you're enjoying this series, if you're looking for more like this, I've got a free 7-day sexual wellness challenge. So if you want to get harder, have better sex, and all that stuff, sign up for free. Link in the description below. All right, back to the tutorial. From here, we're going to go into one of my favorite low back stretches, and this is a reclined twist. So bring your knees on top of your hips, or above your hips. Bring your arms to the outsides. And then as slowly as you can, drape your legs over to the right while keeping your left shoulder as close to the ground or on the ground as possible. So slowly, slowly, slowly bringing the legs over to the right. You might hear some popping in your low back as you do it. That's good. That means you've got some mobility there. And then once you get your legs there, bring your right hand on top of your left knee and just lightly hold that leg down. So you don't need to push it down. Just use your right hand as extra weight to get that stretch. So you're going to feel the stretch kind of in the left lower back and outer left hip area. Breathe slowly in and out of your nose. So I've said that a lot. The more that you can focus on slowing down your breathing and doing it in and out of the nose, and as you're doing that, being aware of the stretch in your body, the better the stretch is going to feel, the more effective it's going to be. So as you're here, slow, controlled breathing. And as you exhale, in particular, letting the hip release, letting your body go into that stretch further. This is a stretch that you can do multiple times per day. If you're ever feeling like your low back is just kind of locked up, this is a really good one. If you spend a lot of time sitting, this is one that's a necessary one for stretching your low back. All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. Bring your legs back to the middle. All right, this time we're going to keep the right shoulder down as much as we can. Slowly bring your legs over to the left. And once they get there, left hand on top of the right knee. Right arm stays out to the right. Come back to that slow, controlled breathing. And you might notice that you tend to hold your breath if the twist is deep or if it's uncomfortable. If it's really uncomfortable, if you notice that you can't fully breathe, then bring your legs up a little bit. You could even use this left hand to kind of support your legs off the ground as you ease into it. And then hopefully, after a few breaths, your body can ease into it. You can also bring that right shoulder off the ground a little bit. So you want to find a depth of this stretch where you feel like you're not locked up, where your body can release a little bit, as opposed to just going as far as you possibly can, but not really feeling comfortable in it. And the slow, controlled breathing is going to help you release as well. This stretch in particular is really important because it helps to create space in your lumbar spine. So if you have had back pain issues in the past, L5-S1, that's a really common part of your spine where you could have pain or previous injuries. So this is helping to create some space there. If you have had back surgery, you might have a fusion there. So anyways, point of all this being, this is a really good area to stretch. But if you have had work done there in the past, if you had previous injuries, it's a good idea to just kind of listen to your body. Don't go too far into it. So you really want to respect your body. Listen to, does this feel good or is this too much? And find that depth where it feels good. All right, bring the legs back to the middle. Plant your feet. Nice. We've got 2 poses to go. For this, you're going to use a strap. Now, if you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or a dog leash. But these ones are really important, and these ones are going to create some really noticeable improvements in your lower back. So you're going to bring the strap around the sole of the foot. We'll do the left leg first. Bring that leg straight up in the air, as straight as you can without pain in the back, okay? So make sure there's no pain in the back. If there is pain in the back, don't go as deep with the leg. So you can start here with the leg and slowly bring it in. You can also bend your knee. Play around with straightening and bending the leg. Find a depth that feels good. And then from here, you're going to keep your right hip on the ground, bring your left leg out to the side, and this is going to stretch your inner thigh. So this is stretching your adductors. These are the muscles that connect your leg to your spine. This is a really good one for releasing tension in the low back. Again, like I mentioned, it's this connection between the hips and the back, and when the hip muscles get tight, they pull on the back and cause pain. So a lot of hip stretching, that's one of the safest, the easiest ways to relieve low back pain. So as you're in the stretch, you want to do your best to keep the right hip on the ground. If you're more advanced, maybe you can bring the leg up higher. But the point isn't, and the point with all of these stretches isn't to mirror the person who has the most flexibility. The point is to find whatever depth of the stretch targets the right muscles for you. So you want to feel the right muscles engaging and feel the right muscles stretching. So here, the muscles stretching are the left inner thigh. You might feel some engagement to the left outer thigh. You also might feel some engagement through your core and through your right hip as they stabilize, trying to keep the hips centered while this left leg goes out to the outside. So you want to hold here for at least 60 seconds. For me, this is a really good one to do at the end of the day. So if you spent a lot of time sitting, if you notice that your back is tightened up, this is a great one to do before bed, or if you're just on the couch or you're watching TV at the end of the night, just get off the couch, get down on the floor, and get a strap instead. This is a really good stretch that you can do very easily with low intensity and low focus. All right, now we're going to go to the other side. So I want you to keep the strap on this leg. You're going to keep this left hip on the ground and then bring your leg just slightly over to the right. And now we're stretching, instead of the inner thigh, stretching the outer thigh. So this one can feel a little bit more intense. This one is really, really good for sitting, because if you look at what the hip does when you're sitting, this is the exact opposite. So we're opening up all these muscles that get tight as you sit. You might notice that you see some shaking through this left thigh. I will see that almost every time that I do this stretch. So you want to keep this left hip on the ground, so don't let the hip come off the ground. This isn't a twist. We're keeping that left hip pinned to the ground. And then you're straightening your leg as much as you can till you feel that stretch, maybe bringing the leg further toward your head. But again, the point here is just to find that stretch in the outer thigh and breathe into it. So hold the strap wherever it's comfortable, and you want to make sure that you can stay here for at least a minute. If you're feeling like it's getting difficult, that's when you check in with the breathing. You can breathe through it. If you feel like you're starting to get overwhelmed, breathe. And then keep doing that until you've got 60 seconds, 90 seconds, or even 2 minutes done. All right, let's switch sides. So same thing again. Now we're going to get the strap on the right foot. Right sole of the right foot aims at the ceiling. You're going to push the back of your right knee forward just until you feel a nice stretch through the back of your right thigh. Make sure that it feels kind of strong and stable in this position. So you're not just holding this passively, but you're actually squeezing your right thigh, a little bit of core and hip to hold this leg in this position. And then when you're ready, keeping this left hip on the ground, bring your right leg out to the right until you feel the stretch through the inner thigh. Squeeze your right thigh, trying to get that leg straight, and keep that breathing slow and controlled in and out of the nose. So again, this is targeting that inner thigh. You don't want to feel stretching on the knee. If you do, I find that bending the knee and then straightening usually helps to fix it and gets the focus on the inner thigh again. So here, you want to do this for at least 60 seconds. 90 seconds, 120 seconds is even better. But you do want to be somewhat active. So kind of think about holding your leg here with some strength, not being totally passive, and also trying to keep this left hip rooted on the ground. Let's go over to that other variation now. So keeping your left hip on the ground, keeping your right hip on the ground, bring your right leg over to the left just until you feel that stretch to the outer right thigh. And again, this is a really good one if you spend a lot of time sitting. Also, if you've had previous knee injuries, the muscles in your hips get pretty locked up, and that's their response to kind of protecting the knee. The muscles get tight, and that can actually, paradoxically, make your knee at more risk of injury. So you might notice that if you have had a previous knee injury, that hip is locked up a little bit. So you might just have to put a little bit more effort into getting that hip to open up. So just be aware of that. Be curious about it. Find what is slightly uncomfortable, slightly beyond what is easy or comfortable, and hang out in that area. Breathe into it, get more comfortable with it, and then go a little bit deeper into the stretch. And if you can do that consistently for just a few weeks, you're going to notice significant improvements in the flexibility. And if you can do that in just one session, you'll feel better immediately afterwards, which is pretty cool to get instant results. All right, bring the leg back, and then bring that down. So there are your 5 stretches for back pain. Use those as often as you'd like for relieving back pain. If you want to learn more basic yoga stretches, I've got an entire series on this. Make sure you subscribe to Manful Yoga. We've got a few more of these videos coming out. Like the video if you found it helpful. Comment if you have some feedback or a recommended topic below. And then if you want to check out the first video in this basic yoga stretches series, click right above my head here. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.